All right. Let me go ahead and still plays on here. Don't like that. What's good, y'all? What's good? Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. There we go. What's happening? Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday. Welcome to the Pass the Sticks podcast. It's the first episode of many, hopefully. My name is Pedro Plays. I'll be your host, just like every other episode after this. And today, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. The D20, what's good, man? How are you doing? I'm glad that you stopped by. What's up? How are you? Thank God, man. My Stream Elements bot is working. But yeah, how's everybody doing? If you're watching the vibe, I hope that you're having a wonderful day as well. Like the thumbnail suggests, we are going to be talking about Kojima Studios possibly being acquired. Well, it was rumored to be acquired earlier in the week. Also, we're going to be talking about Pedro Pascal and his comments on how he's approaching the character of Joel from The Last of Us in his Last of Us portrayal in the TV series next year. Also, we got Sony donating. I say donating. I mean, we really don't know what it's for exactly, but they did invest $1 billion into Epic Games. Just after everything that's been going on with the announcement of Unreal Engine 5, they also have been dropping details on the MetaHuman software as well. But we'll get into all of that here in a little bit because, like I said, the possibilities of everything that comes from Epic Games and that little partnership, it's almost limitless. It's good. I'm good, man. It's been a minute. How are you, bro? I'm good, man. I'm good. It's always good to see you, man. I hope everything is going good for you. I actually need to turn down my browser audio. Hold on just a second. You guys can't hear it, but I got this wave set up to where I can still hear it. So let me go ahead and mute that. There we go. That sounds a lot better. But yeah, man, I've been good, man. I'm glad that you ended up stopping by, man. Also, so last topic, audio's current stream rate. We'll worry about that in a second. Last topic. I mean, we also got to talk about Ghost of Tsushima, them getting a new writer for the movie. They're also stopping development on the game series, or not the game series, but the first game that came out, the Ghost of Tsushima game that came out about 2 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago now. Actually, I think it came out 2020. So yeah, about 2 years. They released that expansion last August, but supposedly they're either going to be focusing on a sequel or possibly the return of Infamous. I was always a fan of Infamous, but we'll get into that here in a bit as well. And then lastly, I'm going to end the podcast talking about speculation on God of War. I mean, people that have been developing the game for the past few years have been on Twitter announcing, hey, today is my last day. Good luck to the rest of the team putting this game through the finish line. Santa Monica Studios have dismissed rumors of them releasing the game next year. So we do know it's coming in 2022. But again, like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So, but our first topic. So we're going to start with rumors on Kojima Studios being acquired by PlayStation. So about Thursday, I want to say, there were rumors circulating around Kojima Productions and speculated PlayStation acquisition. The reason because the official PlayStation account updated their PlayStation Studios banner, which of course, they obviously is exclusive to first-party PlayStation titles, such as God of War, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, games like that. But they updated it to add Death Stranding on there. Now, acquisitions have been the name of the game here recently. Sony, in the beginning of the year, they added Haven Studios in March. They added Bungie back in January. And they're looking to add more into the fold going forward. There's been a whole bunch of rumors about some big acquisition to come. I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't think that'd be announced until maybe like September-ish, whenever if they decide to do another PlayStation experience like they did last year or last September, whenever the God of War trailer was revealed. But yeah, so PlayStation updated the banner, and people were thinking, okay, since they added this game, of course it was a PlayStation exclusive, maybe they are thinking about adding them to the fold, right? Now, while an updated banner alone isn't enough to confirm or deny anything, Sony has had a history of accidentally revealing news before they, actually announced it, like they did actually last year before they acquired Blue Point Games. Basically, a similar situation happened where, they added one of the Blue Point games to the banner about 3 months before they actually announced that that Blue Point Games was being acquired under PlayStation Studios. And honestly, I mean, in these types of scenarios, when accidents like this happen, well, it really wasn't even an accident. PlayStation technically owns the IP Death Stranding. They just contracted, Kojima Studios to produce the game and develop the game. But it was always backed by PlayStation. Even Kojima Studios themselves, to an extent, is backed by PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. But yesterday morning, Hideo Kojima went to Twitter and tweeted the same updated banner, and then also quote tweeted that same tweet saying, "I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but I cannot speak today. Kojima Studios or Kojima Productions has been and will be an independent studio." So while it seems like Kojima gave a clear answer to the rumors, I mean, everybody has a reason to be skeptical about it. Considering the same thing last year, with the Blue Point games, whenever that was accidentally revealed, Blue Point got on Twitter, dismissed the rumors as well before they ended up being added to the fold. But personally, I'm really not sure what to make of it so far. I mean, allegedly there's talks of Kojima developing an Xbox game as well. And this is according to Jeff Grubb. He's a reliable inside source when it comes to gaming news and things like that. He has his own show called Grub Snacks on VentureBeat. But to his knowledge, as of about maybe a week or two ago, those plans were still in place. So if that is true, I wouldn't expect an official announcement until after it, and that's assuming that the Xbox game is actually real, right? They probably wouldn't acquire Kojima Studios until they're done with contractual obligations with Microsoft and Xbox. So, but outside of that, I mean, for right now, I'm going to take Hideo at his word. I mean, he's a well-known figure in the gaming community, and I don't think that he would have a reason to lie about that. But also, I mean, I understand if, there's NDA type deals going on. I mean, of course, you can't really say anything, right? So who knows? But I mean, what do you guys think? PlayStation has already inadvertently given themselves away. Or, I mean, do you think it happened again? Or do you think that Kojima's, he's not capping? He's basically sticking to his guns, and he's going to remain an independent studio, at least for as long as it's beneficial for him in the studio. So let me know in the chat, in the comments. Also, bringing me to my next topic, Ghost of Tsushima. The development is done on the game. SuckerPunch Productions has said that the work on Ghost of Tsushima updates after patch 2.18 is going to be winding down. That patch mainly focused on the Legends mode, which is the multiplayer mode in that game. Gave 2 small improvements. Okay, buddy. Okay. You're done. How does that even happen? I don't understand. I appreciate Nightbot. Good looks, good looks. Anyways. Let me go back here. Sorry, I had to do my own moderating. Audio output. Okay, we'll add the browser audio here, but I need to cut the browser audio down a little bit. Let me unlock it. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Understandable. It's been a few years since the game came out. True. All right, now let me get back on topic. I had to deal with whatever that was, online strips without clothes. Like I don't even understand how. Let me understand how that happened. But shout out to the bots though. My bots, not those bots. Anyways, but yeah, like I was saying, the patch mainly focuses on Legends, which is the multiplayer mode. Two small improvements for the single player campaign, with the main highlight of the patch being PS4 to PS5 save transfers for Legends standalone version. Now, while this might be the last big patch, they said that they'll continue to monitor the community runs Legends subreddits, as well as feedback sent to their Twitter profile. Any future updates will prioritize critical bugs and issues, but as far as content goes, it's kind of run its course. So, and it's not, like you said, it's not to be surprising. I mean, the game's been out for a while. SuckerPunch, you know, they have other IP that they want to work on, as well as Ghost of Tsushima. I think the next game honestly might be Ghost of Tsushima, because the movie's going to come out. They'll probably use the movie that'll come out to kind of leverage the next game, or vice versa. I mean, Sony owns both of these properties, or not both of these properties. They own the IP for Ghost of Tsushima. So, you know, when it comes to things like this, they kind of want to have the synergy going, which kind of ties into, like, you know, with Spider-Man, and they announced the Kraven the Hunter movie, and the Kraven the Hunter is supposed to be in the next game, etc. and so forth, Venom, etc. and so forth. So anyways, I'm getting off topic, but Ghost of Tsushima, great game. Again, not surprised, but I am surprised that the Legends mode honestly took off the way it did. I mean, only a bit of content, but I mean, after they added the director's cut, I came back a little bit. You know, it was a little bit different, but my friends personally weren't really playing the Legends mode until recently, which is kind of why, you know, I've kind of been dabbling into it. I did last stream, but last stream I kind of made private just because that one, it wasn't really the best stream. But yeah, man, I was super surprised. I mean, apparently it was a hit, and you know, they got a whole bunch of content. I like when these PlayStation games kind of have nods to other PlayStation games. I know that there was a Ghost of Tsushima Easter egg in Horizon Forbidden West, and conversely, in the multiplayer mode on Ghost of Tsushima, they had this little like focus piece that, you know, your character could have, which a focus is something that is a part of the Horizon universe. So, but yeah, you know, just little nods. And even in Horizon Forbidden West, they had like these little war totems with like Kratos, Atreus, the Dwarf brothers from the 2018 game. So yeah, I like little stuff like that. But speaking of, you know, the director's cut and stuff like that, I've been thinking about getting it. It's one of the few games that I've already played through, but I might consider playing through it again just to kind of have that content whenever it does circle back around for the sequel. You know, new people finding the Ghost of Tsushima series, maybe they end up, you know, finding the channel just because maybe the second game appeals to them, or maybe they're able to get a PS5, didn't have a PS4, whatever reason it may be. And it could just be another journey that we kind of go on. And now that they've added the director's cut, there's even extra content outside of that. I haven't touched the director's cut, but I've definitely beaten the game, so we'll see. But while we're on the topic of Ghost of Tsushima, Deadline reports that the film adaptation of SuckerPunch's action-adventure game will be written by Takashi Doscher. Doscher previously wrote and directed sci-fi romance Only. The name of the movie was Only. Started Frida Pinto and Leslie Odom Jr., the tall, dark-skinned girl with she's a comedian, got short hair. I really don't know. I'd have to pull up a picture of her. You'll know her face if you saw her face. But he also directed a thriller called Still, which starred Madeline Brewer, and then there was a ESPN documentary called A Fighting Chance. Now, me personally, I've never seen any of his work, right? But what has me hopeful about the situation is that he's been a long-standing PlayStation fan. Allegedly, in his tweet, that he said that he skipped school to be in line for the PS2 launch, which, I mean, you know, at the time, that's probably not a good thing. But, you know, with these live-action game adaptations, you want talent behind the camera, in front of the camera, that actually understand the source material, which I'm hoping that, you know, he's played the game. He's played the game. You know what I mean? But, you know, the only successful like video game series that I can really recall will probably be the Tomb Raider movies, and the Sonic movies. I mean, apparently they're hits. I've never seen either one, not the one that just came out or the first one. Little brother saw the first one, say he really liked the first one. So I don't know, maybe I'll take the time out to watch one of those. Not really my speed. I mean, you know, I played Sonic growing up, had a Sega Dreamcast, all that, but I just really wasn't interested in the movie. But yeah, so not only is he a longstanding you know, PlayStation fan, but he says that he recalls watching reruns of Chambara films or sword fighting films with his grandparents. Now, Chambara is the Japanese samurai cinema genre that was popularized by Akira Kurosawa, which is the same genre that inspired Ghost of Tsushima. So again, this is all great to hear. We have yet to hear any like casting announcements, which doesn't really make sense because I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is like the Jin Sakai character who is the protagonist of the game. The voice actor and face model of that character has not been cast yet. I mean, you know, maybe Sony just wants to wait and see if maybe they can get a bigger name, because I mean, with these movies, you know, you'll have the diehard fans that'll come in and, you know, watch the movie. But if they don't have a big name behind it, they might be skeptical about watching it just off the strength of, you know, who, you know, when somebody asks about a movie, they'll be like, okay, who's in it? You know what I mean? So me and my girl saw the second Sonic movie last night. It was pretty good. Okay. Well, that's good. You know, that's good to hear. I mean, I'm hoping that the quality of these video game adaptations goes up a lot. So I mean, we still even got to get into the Pedro Pascal and his interpretation of Joel in The Last of Us. But for the Ghost of Tsushima movie, another thing that kind of has me on the fence about it. So apparently Chad Stahelski, the director for the John Wick movies, is supposed to be directing this film. Now, I say it's a good thing because I mean the John Wick films, they 3 for 3. You know, I don't think that they've missed as far as the John Wick movies. Now, when it comes to this style of film, I mean, like I was saying earlier, you know, one of the things that inspired the Ghost of Tsushima game was the Chambara films, the samurai. That is a tongue twister, dude. Samurai cinema films. You know, I mean, I've only seen Chad's John Wick movies. Excuse me. I don't know about any of his other content or anything like that, any of his other directed movies that have come out, but I can almost guarantee you, I mean, he doesn't have any experience with this type of film, and it may not translate, you know. I mean, it might be good action, you know, set pieces, but you know, Ghost of Tsushima, it's not all action. It is heavy action. There are some action-packed set pieces in the game that make it enjoyable. But for me, what made it stand out was his relationship with Lord Shimura, the battle that he had within himself to try to become something that was a little bit more than you know, a little bit more than just a samurai to try to protect Tsushima, essentially. So, you know, same. I think these video game adaptations are going up. First Castlevania on Netflix, then Sonic. We could be entering the age of video game adaptations that are expected to be good. And I'm hoping so, man. I really am hoping so, bro. I mean, like I said, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that kind of go into these movies. It's a little bit different than just picking it up and trying to, like, you know, direct it the same way that you would a normal film, right? So, or direct it the same way that the same way you would a video game film. The only types of games that I think might translate a little bit easier when it comes to like film is games like Detroit Become Human, Until Dawn, House of Ashes, like those games that are like movies where you make the decisions, right? And I mean, you know, and that's the extent of the gameplay. You know, you just kind of pick and choose who you like as characters and try to make decisions based on who you want to survive or who you want to succeed at the end of the game. But also, apparently, the Uncharted movie was pretty good too. But again, I'm not sure if it was because it was Tom Holland. I mean, me personally, I would not have cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. When I think of Nathan Drake, I think of somebody more along the lines of like Ryan Reynolds, right? But Ryan Reynolds, he might be a little bit too old for the role. but his comedian style, like his humor, his type of humor, I think it just really closely matches, the way that Nathan Drake comes off. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, let me see here. Did I just get a sub? Hold on. Gotta peep and see if I just got a sub. I want to be grateful. I try to be grateful. But yeah, so apparently, Uncharted was good, which has me hopeful. But one of the things that I'm kind of nervous about is The Last of Us, the TV series. I'll get into that in just a moment. But I mean, I'll say this. I'll probably keep my glass half. I'll keep my glass half full because it's going to be mainly loosely based on the events of the first game. So I don't really, the first game was a hit. I never had an issue with it. You know what I mean? So let me see here. Okay, so no new sub. That was my fault. That's really crazy how that that bot really tried to come in and regulate. Damn shame. Anyways, speaking of, while we were on the topic of The Last of Us, I think we kind of touched base on everything that we need to as far as the Ghost of Tsushima movie. But so Pedro Pascal, he was doing an interview for GQ this past week, and he said that he wanted to create a healthy distance from the Last of Us game to prepare for the TV series. Yo, pizza was good. Do we need a Ghost of Tsushima movie? So I'm in the boat of like, not everything needs to be interpreted. Like, okay, so I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were rumors about a God of War game or God of War TV series. I can't remember if it was a TV series or a film being developed by Amazon, by the people who wrote not the 100, but some other Wheel of Time. I think is that what it's called? I think it's called Wheel of Time. But they're thinking about developing that. Now, of all the things that they put on the table, I'm really not with that. I don't think that God of War needs anything in the realm of like live action. But you already know, I mean, big name companies they're looking for any single way that they can make money, right? If people are going to pay for tickets, if they know they got fans in the God of War fan base, if they know they got fans in the Ghost of Tsushima fan base, guess what they're going to do? They're going to make a movie, and they're going to try to sell the toys that come with it, the little action figures, Funko Pops, whatever. They're going to try to use that to leverage the next game. When it comes to Sony, I mean, they have a whole lot of IPs that they try to like tie into everything. So God of War TV series. So every Sony exclusive is going to be TV. I don't want to say yes, but like, it looks like it might be heading that way, to be quite honest with you. I'm not particularly a fan of it because, like I said, not everything needs a live action adaptation. But at the end of the day, they're really not going to listen to us. They're going to listen to what they think that might make them the most money, right? So if we're already spending money on PlayStation exclusives, whether it be through the actual PlayStation or when it hits PC, you know what I mean? Like, they'll fuck around and make a Horizon live action movie, as uninteresting as I think that might be. I mean, they don't care. That's just something that they know makes money already. So why not make a movie that would make money? But it's so like in terms of a Ghost of Tsushima movie, I think that if they're going to do it right. If they're going to do it right. And I don't want a step-by-step retread of the game, because in that case, I could literally just play the game. The game is like a movie. But yeah, just do it right. Just do it right. The essence of the characters needs to be there from the source material, but at the end of the day, as long as they do it right, I mean, I really wouldn't have an issue with it. But yeah, man, it's almost ridiculous, honestly. But back to the point though, like I said, Pedro Pascal, who's supposed to be playing Joel in the Last of Us TV series that's supposed to air in 2023. He said that he wanted to create a healthy distance from the Last of Us game to prepare for the TV series. So while he was in that GQ interview, he said that he admitted he wasn't like skilled enough to actually play the game himself. So he let his nephew play the game up until the point that he had to leave Florida and then go film the actual first couple of episodes and whatnot. But he said from watching the gameplay, he found Joel impressive. Actually, let me just read the quote word for word so I don't put words in his mouth. He says, "I watched for as long as I was able to that day, and then I had to leave Florida," he recalled. "I found Joel so impressive. I found the whole of it such a visually impressive experience. And then I got worried that I would want to imitate too much, which I think could be right in some circumstances, and then a mistake in others." So from this quote, I'm not going to say it makes me nervous, but kind of, right? I am a little excited for the Last of Us series, but I want to see how it'll be different from The Walking Dead. Other than maybe Sonic, when was the last time a video game movie was fire? So did you see the Uncharted movie? Because I haven't seen the Uncharted movie, but from everybody that I've spoken to that have watched the movie, it was never anything bad. I think the worst thing that I've heard about it was it was all right. And it being all right in the terms of live action adaptations of video games, it's a step forward, honestly. But I mean, Sonic, obviously they made that family friendly, and it did have the potential of fucking up, because when they first dropped the preview of how Sonic looked in the movie, in the first movie, they had to delay the whole movie because they was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I heard Uncharted was cheeks. Okay, well, now I have a new worst. But that's going off of me hearing from somebody that also heard from somebody else. I'll probably watch Uncharted whenever it hits like one of these streaming services or whatever, which, to be quite honest with you, now that PlayStation is switching things around as far as like PlayStation Now, PlayStation Network, or not PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus. I think one of these days, and the reason why they are pushing live action adaptations is because that's probably going to be something else that'll be offered with like a higher tier of the new PlayStation service that they're going to be offering. So, but I can see that in the future. I haven't heard anything about it, but that may be very telling, maybe very forgettable. And, that's another thing to take into consideration. I mean, just because, they dropped something and it's, it wasn't not received well, it could just be middle of the road where you forget. Like a perfect example, right, in regards to video games, Dying Light literally just came and went. And I think I talked to you about that, Denzel. I talked to you about that on Twitter. That game dropped the end of January, and then February came around. We had Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu. Nobody, like around the middle of February, nobody was talking about nobody was talking about Dying Light after that point. But Sonic went straight Tyler Perry for a whole 20 minutes. What? Are you serious? Like the last movie or the first movie? Because again, I haven't seen it. Apparently Denzel saw the second one and said it was okay. But me personally, I haven't seen either of the movies. I can't really say. But man, and what do you mean Tyler Perry, bro? Like like what? I've never heard that description about like a video game. How does Sonic go Tyler Perry? Like what? But anyways, back to what I was saying while y'all, give me updates on that. But like I said, I think the big thing for me in regards to The Last of Us, the live action movie that's coming, what's important for me, because I mean, like I said, the quote isn't bad. I want the core essence of the characters to be conveyed, through the TV series. Like, so what makes Joel kind of special, I guess, to me? And part of the reason why The Last of Us 2 kind of divided the fan base was because of the interpretation of Joel, the different interpretations from Joel in the first game and Joel in the second game. I mean, Joel as a character, I mean, he's not a hero, but I mean, he's super sympathetic and somewhat relatable. He grows on you as the journey goes on. He's very much a villain, 100%, and that's the whole reason why, you know, he ended up getting killed in the second game. But his motivations are explained. He has a shady background, but the shady background between the loss of his daughter and meeting Ellie, you know, comes in useful. And then, you know, it also helps Ellie to learn how to survive in this post-apocalyptic world, right? He's not a perfect character, just a very real character. He makes mistakes. His past isn't the greatest, and he's not the most intelligent, but he's a survivor. And he never pretends, which, you know, it makes it more meaningful or impactful whenever he actually decides to open up to Ellie and you see them connecting on a personal level near the end of the first game. And, you know, it makes it one of the better video game duos, you know, one of the better video game companion relationships in gaming history, in my opinion. Now, you know, they're supposed to air in 2023. Who knows what'll happen between them, because they're supposed to be, you know, Sony's focusing on live service games as well. They said that they're supposed to have about 10 going at the same time between now and 2026. So I don't know if they're going to try to change the factions game that was included in the first game, and that they've kind of confirmed is supposed to be making a comeback, but they just needed some more time to kind of develop it. I don't know if they're going to turn that into a live service game. Live service games have not been the best here recently, and I'm kind of nervous about Gotham Knights because it kind of looks like a live service game, somewhat like Marvel's Avengers, but I got to keep my glass half full when it comes to that. Second Sonic. Hold on, let me go back through chat. Okay, in the second movie, it was Tyler Perry. Yeah, Dying Light got dropped with the quickness. No spoilers, but just imagine. Bruh. See, now I gotta watch the second movie because I gotta see what you're talking about now. The second Sonic movie was good, but I think the first was superior. Yeah, Dying Light 2 went to the used games bin fast due to... Oh my God, bro. I don't even want to talk about glitches, bro. Half of the damn, like, I saw so many T-poses, characters stuck in different animations, and like people that were supposed to speak that didn't speak whenever they were being spoken to. It was so fucking weird, bro. I'll die on that hill. The Last of Us 2 was a good single player experience. We're going to have, yeah. And see, so where my issue lied with The Last of Us 2, and I'll probably have to re-upload because I want to see how people feel now, but The Last of Us 2, man, it was the story. It was literally just the story. I did not feel attached to the Abby character at all. And then I felt like Ellie's goal was just fucking meaningless at the end of the game. Like I literally went through all of that for what seems like nothing, what felt like nothing, you know. And that was a very draining game. I literally played that game one time and I have not touched it since. I've been back and forth debating on if I should touch it to like do a live playthrough and then a review, an actual review for the game, but I don't know, man. I might have to switch up that stream elements message, because I think it's cutting off half of the link, or not half of the link, like the last bit of that link. So I'll probably have to make it shorter. But anyways, but yeah, you know, as far as quality, I mean, the graphics were amazing. The cinematics were amazing. The gameplay was fun. You know what I mean? They actually innovated the game to make it different from the first game, but it was just the way that they went about some of these characters' backstories and trying to like fold everything and wrap up these plot points. It was just like, you know, I went back to do a custom difficulty. Oh yeah, they do have like hella like customizable modes. Like you can change the way that the game looks. You can change how the AI acts. That is one thing I'll have to give them props for, because I mean, you know, it's very modular, right? Like you can pick different aspects of the game and make it either more difficult or less difficult, and make it a unique experience. So I actually like that. Graded mode with a ton of ammo drops. That's easy mode then. What you mean? You just gotta back up and make sure you keep your distance. So long as you stay behind cover and keep your distance from motherfuckers, and yeah, you'll be good. Now, as far as like, you know, boss battles though, like the bloater in the arcade and yeah, different. Oh, the Rat King. Oh my God, bro. Let me tell you, man. Listen, like I said, I wasn't really fucking with Abby when she went to that hospital. I was scared as fuck. I was scared as shit, bro. Like, oh, bro, you could hear the Rat King. Like, as soon as you walk in that motherfucker, you knew it was coming. I was just like, bro, this is really some WPS. I'll just put it like that. There's no way I would sit here and go through that. Like, whoever was finna die is just gonna be, that was the end of their story. That was destiny right there. I'm not finna be in this hospital, this abandoned hospital with God knows what, literally trying to get some meds. Oh yeah, that was when Lev's sister like broke her arm and needed it amputated, that's the word. And even in regards to that, like, oh god, I'm not trying to turn this into a Last of Us spoiler talk, so let me just move on. I've said my piece about how I want Pedro to convey Joel as a character, and I just got to move on because this next topic I'm actually very interested, right? So Sony invested an additional $1 billion in Epic Games, and this is kind of circling back to, are they going to make Factions a live action game, or not a live action game, a live service game? Like, what are they planning on doing with these properties, and how are they planning on starting 10 live service games by 2026? I mean, we only got 4 years until then, so that's 10 projects. Some of them might already be in development right now, but you know, that's 10 projects in the next 4 years. You know, I'm trying to think of a live service game that they have right now, and I just can't think of one that's a PlayStation Studios one, you know? So we'll see. I mean, we've heard about like a Monster Hunter-esque type Horizon multiplayer game, but that's just rumors at this point right now. I mean, they did make the VR game, the VR2 game, so maybe there was some credence to that rumor. But back to the topic though. So apparently Sony, keep this in mind, right? Whenever I'm explaining this, keep this in mind. Apparently Sony, so not just PlayStation, but Sony has enough faith in Epic Games to invest almost $2 billion, because between 2020 and 2021, I think they invested about 850 million between two different like investments. One in 2020, I think that one was 400 million, and then in 2021 they put in another 450 million. So Sony has enough faith in Epic Games to invest almost 2 billion. Now I'm going to use these next two quotes from both the CEO and president of Sony Corporation and the head of Epic Games to try and figure out what is the meaning behind this, right? Because nobody really knows why they have almost 2 billion in stocks or investments with Epic Games. So Kenichiro Yoshida, president and CEO of Sony Group Corporation, believes that Epic Games is leading the video game technology industry and is more than deserving of the funding. In the quote, he says, "As a creative entertainment company, we are thrilled to invest in Epic to deepen our relationship in the metaverse field." Okay, keep that in mind, in the metaverse field, a space where creators and users share their time. We are also confident that Epic's expertise, including their powerful game engine, combined with Sony's technologies, will accelerate our various efforts, such as the development of new digital fan experiences in sports and in virtual production initiatives. Okay, this is the Sony president saying that. Now, according to a press release by Epic Games, Sony's $1 billion investment is meant to build the metaverse and support its continued growth, as Sony hopes to, quote unquote, create social entertainment exploring the connection between digital and physical worlds. Now, the word metaverse, like in and of itself, nobody really knows what exactly the hell it is. But if I'm to take what they said at face value, there's a couple things that we need to kind of discuss, right? So in the past, Epic has held virtual performances from people like Marshmello, Travis Scott, Ariana Grande, and Fortnite alone. Sony not only has their own music label full of talent, but through their video game division, that is PlayStation Studios, they have access to things like the VR2 that's supposed to come out. So maybe, and just hear me out, maybe things like VR concerts, in movie viewings, because I mean they have movie rights to like the Spider-Man verse of characters and just other things, right? Maybe they'll have movie viewings that you can pay for through PlayStation, and inadvertently, PlayStation or Sony, they get more of that money because they're showing the movie. They don't have to rent out theater, like, you know what I mean, like rooms and shit to show the movie to however many people in the audience, right? Which is why I also say, they're pushing all these live action game adaptations so that whenever you get a certain tier of, PlayStation, I have to look up the name of it. I know it was called Project Spartacus, but there's actual names for each of the tiers of the premium service now. But whenever you get a high enough, level, you can watch movies, music videos, things like that through PlayStation. So that's one thing. Another thing, with the rise of metaverse and NFTs, however you may feel about NFTs, I think that they're stupid as fuck. But these companies are choosing that as the future of technology. That being said, Epic released things like Unreal Engine 5, which it looks really impressive, by the way, and MetaHuman by Epic. MetaHuman is the photorealistic avatar creator that they dropped. I want to say it had to be like maybe the middle of 2021. But basically you can make photorealistic avatars, like down to the skin textures, the hair follicles, all that extra stuff, right? I mean, I could see Sony using that to kind of revamp PlayStation Home. Now, just to kind of explain what PlayStation Home was, PlayStation Home was something that was offered on PS3, and it has a cult following. Even to this day, people still want them to bring that back, which might end up happening for better or for worse. Who knows? But I can see them using the MetaHuman technology, right, to create avatars. I don't know if they'll allow you to like use some sort of facial scan technology. Maybe they have like a PlayStation camera, the PlayStation camera that was part of the bundle. Maybe you can use that to scan your face and make a photorealistic version of your face in this PlayStation Home, and then using Unreal Engine 5 to kind of make different worlds, right? So like if you've been in VR chat, you know that you can go to created what they call created worlds, where sometimes you can just get avatars of different things, pop culture characters or whatever, and then there's some that are like themed off of like characters from TV shows, etc., and so forth, right? So let's say and in the PlayStation Home game, there were actually specific sections and areas that you can go to start playing the game from PlayStation Home. It's a social space where you can see other people, talk to other people, etc., and so forth. And they look like, at the time, the best representation of real people. But you can go do bowling, you can go do different mini games, and if it ever came time to it, there was a portal where you can go to play, Call of Duty or whatever game that you had plugged into the system at that time, because I don't think that they were doing digital releases at that time. But just imagine, like, okay, Sony brings back that, and now, you create your avatar and you can go to the God of War world, or you can go to the Last of Us world, you know what I mean, and explore different areas. It won't be like a one-to-one representation of what the actual game offers, right? But, it could be something as simple as like maybe a section of the map or its own thing, you know what I mean? And they can use that to market. Oh, and this is me thinking business minded. Now, again, I want to emphasize, I think the NFTs are stupid and pointless, mainly because they can be duplicated and recoded to whatever the fuck people want it to be. But you can go to these different areas and you can, as stupid as it sounds, buy a t-shirt for your avatar that is, a God of War shirt that lights up and says boy or something, you know what I mean? And that would be considered an NFT. And then you could sell that NFT to somebody else if somebody else wanted that shirt, which I don't know why. And that goes back into the stupidity of like, why the fuck would you do NFTs in a game? Because like, it just doesn't make sense, especially if you're going to have a PC version, because most of these PlayStation releases, I want to say maybe a year or two after they released, they ended up going to the PC, PlayStation PC. It just would be stupid. I mean, it's pointless. And who wants to have a virtual world where you have to pay real money to actually enjoy it, right? So if they do it that way, they would kind of be ruining PlayStation Home, in my opinion. But capitalism. What are you gonna do? Overthrow the government? You know what I mean? Not saying that I am. Also not saying that I would be opposed. Anyways. But yeah, like I said, Spider-Man world where you can make like maybe your own custom Spider-Man mask or whatever the fuck. There's just all kinds of advertising opportunities, NFT opportunities. And just, maybe they have mini games, maybe they have little Easter eggs or little things that you can do on the side to like earn different things that, only certain people can have. Who knows? Who knows how they're going to do this? But let me see here. Yeah, so and also it could be something as simple as just Epic being behind one or more of the future live service games that they promised between now and 2026. I mean, they definitely have experience with it. Fortnite is still doing just as well, if not better, than it has been in a while, honestly. I mean, I've gone back and played Fortnite and actually enjoyed myself. I went and played the no build mode. I swear I shine. Okay. People can't be building whole forts and whole hotels in front of my face anymore, and now they don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I said, it's up for speculation. I want to know what y'all think, though, either in the chat or in the comments below. And going into the very last topic here, God of War speculation, the return or the sequel to the God of War game. Now, we have reason to believe that the long anticipated game to the sequel, or the long anticipated sequel to the game, God of War, is done and almost ready to be shipped out. There have been a couple tweets from developers and people behind the game, such as Ruben Voorhees. He's the lead destruction artist on God of War. He tweeted out that his daughter loves playing the new game. Melissa Smith, another game developer on God of War, tweeted out that it was her last day on the game and that she can't wait for the release. And she's been involved in the game's development for years and is excited about, what they were able to accomplish with this game. And then last piece of, speculation, Chris Judge, the voice actor for Kratos, who apparently was the reason why the game was delayed the first time because he had an injury. He actually tweeted Ryan Hurst, who is a voice actor for Thor in this game, saying that he can't wait for folks to see how calm and reasonable we are, which of course is a reference to the PlayStation Showcase trailer, whenever they, use that post-credit scene from the first game, excuse me, in the middle of the gameplay and cinematics from Ragnarok that they decided to show. Now, based on all this information, it seems like stuff is starting to ramp up. And of course, if they plan on releasing this game in 2022, some sort of marketing is going to have to start. The only thing that is related to God of War Ragnarok specifically that has come out was, at the last PlayStation Showcase last September. Now, the last God of War game released on 4/20, okay, which will mark the 4-year anniversary of it. So my next best guess is that, or at least the soonest that we will hear anything about it will be on that date. And they may just drop something as simple as like another trailer, like an actual story, a little bit more of a story explainer. Maybe add a little bit more gameplay details, etc. and so forth. But they probably won't include a release date, right? You want to include the important stuff with events that directly tie to Sony, right? So if they release anything between now and 4/20 or now in the Summer Games Fest, which is I think it's supposed to, I can't remember if it's next month or the first week of June. I think the first week of June is actually E3, so I might be mistaken. I have to look up the dates and whatnot on that, but yeah, if we hear anything between either of those dates, it won't include a release date. It'll just be, you know, just gameplay, maybe some more story details. Now, what I'm leaning more towards as far as not only release date, but when we'll next hear about it, is probably going to be the PlayStation Showcase. Last year, the PlayStation Showcase was in September. And, you know, if that's telling of the showcase timeframe of this year, you can expect it around the same time, which would mean that if they use that as a means of dropping the release date, they have between October and December to drop the game. And there have already been rumors about the game dropping late November, like I want to say like around Thanksgiving, which kind of makes sense, you know, Black Friday. And plus, you know, whenever these showcases happen, there's usually like a restock of PS5s, and they want people to enjoy these games on PS5. So they're going to use that as leverage to try to get people to go to war for PS5. Thank God that I have mine, not to flex or anything like that, but that was a whole stressful experience. Getting a hold of it, that was a stressful experience. But I would say, you know, they drop a trailer, extended gameplay in the same vein that they dropped for E3. Now that E3 is kind of dead in the water, I don't know what they're going to try to like rebrand as, because all of the big name studios and things like that are either acquired by one of the you know, big name companies, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, etc., and so forth. Or, you know, there's just not enough indie development game or developed games to have a whole conference around it, right? So I don't know what they're going to rebrand as. I don't know what it'll be going forward, whether it's digital or in person. But now that, you know, Microsoft kind of has their own thing, PlayStation has their own thing, and if any of these companies want to drop trailers or drop things like that, they have YouTube. They can just drop it on their YouTube and it'll circulate. You know what I mean? So things have kind of changed. I don't know what E3 is going to do. I don't want it to die just because I kind of grew up with E3. I've never been to an E3. I would love to, but you know what I mean? Times are definitely changing. Things are a lot more digital now. So who knows? But yeah, you know, honestly, I'm thinking more so PlayStation Showcase, and in the E3, I want to say 2017, they showed they revealed Kratos, and you know, showed that little section where him and Atreus were hunting, and it kind of led up to, you know, the title card or whatever. But I'm expecting something in that same vein. Maybe we get a short section of the game, maybe leading up to some big event, or maybe the section is not even in the game, right? Maybe that's what they are like pushing through the finish line for, right? They have the actual game done. Now they're trying to get the presentation for everything done so that they can have it done in time for whatever it may be, whether it's Summer Game Fest or whether it's the anniversary or, you know, PlayStation Showcase. So but if it is PlayStation Showcase, definitely I want to say that leaked November like 26 date was actually right. So yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of speculation. I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the chat, in the comments as well. Let me know what you think. Are you hype about the game? Let me know what you think about any of the topics. You know what I mean? The Ghost of Tsushima movie, the fact that they're done on development on that game. Do you think they're going to focus on the sequel? Do you think they're going to focus on, you know, Infamous? What else? Kojima Studios, do you think that there's still a likelihood that they may end up being consumed or purchased by Sony at the end of the day? So, but yeah, outside of that, I mean, hey, oh man, it has been a long day. We got this cranked out and made some good time too. Well, I think I'm going to call that a show. I am going to head out to mod for the Black streamer community. I appreciate everybody that came through. If you're watching the VOD, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, Let me know what you think of everything. And tomorrow I am going to be live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to be playing a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, me with some of my homies. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of an Apex rank grind. And then also I'm trying to decide between Far Cry 6 and Guardians of the Galaxy. So just let me know. Exclamation Discord if you're not in the Discord already. Best way to stay up to date when I'm streaming and up to date on new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, all of my socials, exclamation socials in the chat. Outside of that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow if you're not joining the Black Streamer Community chat. Yeah, have a wonderful evening.